Hey, what's up? Mike Gross here, rockinguitarlessons.com, and this is a tutorial about CVT lessons. If you haven't ever heard of them, then you probably don't know who I am. It's something I came up with about a year and a half ago, maybe a little longer than that. It stands for Custom Video Tablature Lessons. Basically, a CVT lesson is you let me know what it is you want to learn song-wise. Actually, it's not always song-wise. I did a couple of them that were like killer 80s intros and some different stuff, but typically they're songs that you want. I transcribe by ear. I feel like my ear is one of my strong points because back in the day when I was learning, I wanted lessons, wasn't able to get them. I know, ooh, I was bummed. But you know, it really pushed me, and it you know, I found a way, and I really was allowed, you know, through that and pushed to use my ear. When you want something really bad, that's the way I looked at it. I couldn't get it, so I found my own way to do it, and really came in handy, you know, down the road 8 years later when I started teaching, because I learned a lot through songs. You know, you hear something that you like and it inspires you. You know, you know what I'm talking about. You've heard a song and you're like, oh man, why didn't I write that riff? You know, I've done that before. You know, I remember hearing "Sweet Child of Mine" for the first time and going, that intro riff that Slash is doing, it's like, you gotta be kidding me. And it wasn't that it was so technically hard, it was just really unique and creative. You know, so you take ideas and you learn them, and then you kind of twist them around and experiment, or take the concept and try to make your own little thing out of it. So anyways, it's just a fun way to learn. So these CVT lessons are really targeted towards, for the most part, you know, 90% of them, people that want to fine-tune a song. And they're custom because you basically let me know what parts you want. Main guitar from beginning to end. No guitar solo. Show me the rhythm behind the solo. I'm not ready for the solo. Or maybe all the main guitar with the guitar solo. And if it has a different rhythm behind it, show me that too, Mike. You know, sometimes you got multiple tracks. Actually, a lot of times in songs, it's not just one guitar going on. There's multiple going on. At least two, sometimes three, four, or more than that. It just depends on the song. I have had CVT lessons where people wanted, you know, guitar one and guitar two. You know, so what I do is I pull up the song, and usually you guys want the actual studio version, which is cool because you don't have to filter through the crowd hiss and the noise and all that. And I zone in and listen, transcribe it, and then handwrite the tabs. Tabs is the music, or the type of music. This is tab paper right here. Actually, this has actual notation as well. It's like a mix of both, but I just have some modes that I wrote on here. I handwrite it. I give you a legend, which is basically the notation of all the techniques that you're going to find within your CVT lesson, like palm mutes and vibratos and bending, sliding, pinch harmonics, all that stuff, whether it's tapping, when it's a clean guitar, when it's a distorted guitar. I even do EQ guesstimations, which that can be a little difficult because, you know, different amps and different guitars have different characteristics and tones and all that. But I give you a basic idea of how to EQ your amp and your guitar, whether it's the neck pickup, the bridge pickup, or a blend, or a split on a single coil, all that stuff. So all the techniques you'll find at the top of the tabs when I do these CVT lessons, and then I just however many pages it is, whether it's 4 pages or 10 pages, I handwrite them. I section everything off. It's really kind of like a common sense way of doing it. You know, learning tablature is not the same as actual notes and counting 16th notes. And, you know, I can teach that too, but most of my students don't learn it. Most people want to get right into playing and the nitty gritty, man. The dirt of the song, you know, teach me it, show me it, how does it play, how does it work, what's the technique, am I holding the pick right, all that good stuff. So, tablature, most of you guys probably know what it is. You got 6 lines on the paper, and the numbers are written on the lines. Those lines represent the strings. The bottom one is the low E, which is your top string. This top one here is the bottom in tablature. It's upside down. Numbers represent frets. Circle numbers represent fingers, and all the techniques that are used in the legend that's at the top of the page. So the three basics: strings, fingers, and frets. That's the basics to reading tab. It's real simple. And the goal really with tab anyways is for you to study it enough to where you've got everything memorized, and then you put that tab page down and you don't look at it. You're going to need to use it for a map until you memorize it. So that's why it's important to know how to at least read tablature. Even though it's not even giving you time signatures and counts per se, but it is your map. You can use the song for a guide, and that's the cool thing. And there's a part of ear training that goes along with learning tablature, if it's taught the right way by the teacher. So anyways, things are sectioned, like you'd have an intro to a song, a verse, a chorus. Now song formats are not always the same. It depends. Because really there is no rule book. There's theory. Well, theory is someone's theory on it. And it's a theory that's correct in theory. But at the end of the day, man, you listen to bands like Dream Theater, you know, they'll change up things that may go against what the theory book would say. So formats are usually typical though. You know, most songs are going to have a verse and a chorus, you know what I mean? But no matter what it is, I call them sections. And I just put them in parentheses, you know, and I'll use some things out of notation like double dots for repeats and all that stuff, the fingering and all that. And then how many times to play that section. Then we go into the next section. As we go along in it, I timestamp everything, which that way you can match up your tabs. So when you're practicing it, you can also pull up the actual song. And if it says like 1:02 to 1:33 for section 2, you can match it up with the tabs so you can see where you're at. It really is a step-by-step thing. It's really cool. It's very detailed. The solo I put in subgroups, which are just small pieces. A solo is a bunch of notes, right? Sometimes more, sometimes less. But I subgroup them in advance for you and timestamp each subgroup. So you have it set up in a smaller form, and you can connect it with the next subgroup, and then boom, you play all of them together. Before you know it, you've gone through this whole solo, but you've taken it in steps. Very thorough way to do it. So that's it for the tabs. You know, I scan them when I'm done and send them to your email. And then I record the lesson on video and upload it to YouTube. Now, obviously, these are a paid service that I offer. You are the owner of the tabs. You're the one paying for it. They go hand in hand with that video lesson. So you kind of need both. You know, you can't match it up if you don't have the tabs. You know what I mean? So they're a ball and glove type thing. The video thoroughly explains everything that has just been tabbed out. Sometimes usually they're 2-part videos, about 20 minutes each. It just depends. It depends how long the song is, and you know, the solo and this and that. For more information on that, all I require to get started is a minimum $75 deposit, and the average CVT, it's hard to say, you know, every song is different. They tend to range from $200 to $300. I'll just put it that way. They don't have to be complete songs. They're custom. So I had one recently where a buddy of mine, one of my CVT students, just wanted the intro to something. It was still a CVT lesson. It was just, he didn't want the whole thing. He just wanted this particular part. That's cool too. But they're finely tuned, thoroughly explained, all that good stuff. My email is mike@rockinguitarlessons.com. My PayPal email, which is how you would make your deposit and your payment, is tvxpunk@aol.com. However, if you go to my website, you can click on the CVT lesson tab. There's another tutorial there, and the price information is all there, which I pretty much just gave you that. But you're going to want to email me, give me all the details that you want in your CVT lesson. I have a lot of repeat CVT students, and you guys are my students as well. Just because you're not taking lessons from me on Skype, you're still my students. You're a paying student. So send me all the information, you know. Hey Mike, all the guitars, or just the main guitar. You know, be pretty thorough about it, because once I do it, there it is, you know. I'm handwriting it, and then I do the video for it. I think that's it. Also, my CVT students will have my cell number. It's really the most effective way, the fastest way for us to communicate. When the CVT lesson is done, I can text you because not everyone's on their computer every day to check their email. And I usually keep you guys informed as far as progress. Turnaround time, 7 to 10 days usually. It depends if I have anything back to, someone before you or a couple before you, but I'll let you know. I keep you in the loop with the progress where I'm at if you want to know. But usually I can get them to you within 7 to 10 days. That's typically how it goes. So my email, mike@rockinguitarlessons.com. Send me your information, make the deposit in my PayPal account, and I will get going on your CVT lesson.
What's your PayPal account?
Huh?
How do they pay your PayPal?
When did you get in here?
It's been sitting here recording you.
Why?
What's your PayPal account? How can they pay you?
I already said that. My PayPal email is tvxpunk@aol.com.
Okay.
And you can also use my cell number. I think I set it up now. But I normally don't put my cell phone number just out there. There are ways to get it, but my Skype students and my CVT students all have my cell number, and that's really the best way to communicate. But you can make payment using my cell number as well. So that's it. Until next time. You got to do a vocal lesson, don't you?
Yes, I do.
All right. Talk to you guys soon.